Oh, hello there. Come on in, sweetheart. I'm sitting here at my kitchen table with a fresh cup of tea, just like I do every morning. My name is Eleanor Margaret Thompson. I'm 78 years old, and I've lived in this same little house in Naperville, Illinois for almost 50 years. I'm a retired elementary school teacher, second and third grade mostly. And I've been a widow for 8 years now, ever since my Robert passed. I've been thinking for a long time. I get really lonely sometimes. The house is quiet, the kids are grown and busy with their own lives. So I said to myself, Eleanor, maybe it's time you started talking again. That's why I decided to make this little channel. I want to sit here with you, have a cup of tea together, and just talk about real life. The good days, the hard days, the messy parts, and everything in between. No fancy stuff, just me being honest with you. So if you've got a few minutes, pull up a chair. I'd love for you to stay a while. Most days are pretty quiet around here now. I wake up early, around 6:30. I make myself a cup of tea and sit right here at this kitchen table for a little while. Then I go for a short walk if my knees aren't acting up too much. After that, I spend time in my garden. I've got roses, tomatoes, and some beautiful hydrangeas this year. Gardening is my favorite thing. When I'm out there with my hands in the dirt, I feel peaceful. I still cook for myself every day. Nothing fancy, but I like real food. Then I do a little cleaning, maybe some knitting for the grandbabies. Every Sunday, I drive myself to church. I sit in the same pew I've been sitting in for 40 years. After service, I usually chat with the other ladies for a bit. We have a little knitting club and a book club too, but some weeks I just don't feel like going. Evenings are the hardest. After dinner, I sit on the couch and watch Hallmark movies. I know, they're all the same. Somebody always falls in love and everything works out perfectly. But they make me feel warm inside. I talk back to the television sometimes. Robert used to tease me about that. I do video calls with my grandkids when they have time. But most days, it's just me and this old house. I don't mind being alone most of the time, but some evenings the quiet gets real loud. You know what I mean? Let me tell you about my Robert. I met him in the summer of 1970. I was 22, working at an ice cream stand in Peoria. He walked up in his coaching jacket, tall and confident, ordered chocolate ice cream, and smiled at me like I was the only girl in the world. 6 months later, we were engaged. We got married in the spring of 1972. It was a simple wedding. It rained the whole day, but I thought I was the luckiest girl alive. Robert was a high school history teacher and football coach. He loved his job. He was loud, funny, and full of energy. When he walked into a room, everybody noticed him. He could tell the best stories at dinner parties. He was a good provider, too. Always made sure we had a roof over our heads and food on the table. But he wasn't perfect. Lord, he wasn't. Robert had a temper. If things didn't go his way, especially during football season, he could get real quiet and moody. Sometimes he'd stay angry for days and wouldn't talk much. He also had a stubborn streak. Once he made up his mind about something, there was no changing it. I learned early on it was easier to just go along with him. He loved me in his own way. He called me Ellie and brought me flowers sometimes for no reason. But he never really understood how much I gave up for our life together. I don't think he ever fully saw it. It's been 8 years since he passed. Heart attack in 2018. Some mornings I still catch myself setting 2 cups on the table before I remember. The house feels too big without him. I miss his loud laugh. I miss arguing with him about silly things. I even miss his snoring sometimes. Love is funny, isn't it? You can miss someone and still remember the hard parts too. Now let me tell you about my 3 babies. Even though they're all grown men and women now, they'll always be my babies. First is David. He's my oldest, 52 years old. He's a software engineer out in California, working for Google. Very smart boy. He married a nice girl named Michelle, and they have 3 children, 2 boys and 1 little girl. I'm so proud of him. But California is so far away. He calls me every Sunday, which I really look forward to, but he hasn't been home in almost 2 years now. They're always so busy with work and the kids' activities. Then there's my Sarah. She's 49 and she stayed closest to me. She's a high school English teacher just like her father was, over in Chicago. She married Mark and they have 2 children, a boy and a girl. Sarah calls me more than the others, maybe once or twice a week. But even she only makes it out here every few months. Life gets busy, I suppose. And my youngest, Michael, he's 46. He joined the Army after high school and served his country, which makes me very proud. Now he works in logistics and lives in Texas with his wife Jessica. They have 2 boys. Michael was always my quiet one. He doesn't call as much as I'd like. Sometimes months go by and I only get a short text saying, "Hi Mom, everything's fine." I love all 3 of them more than anything in this world. But I won't lie to you, it hurts sometimes. I raised them in this very house and now they're scattered all over the country. I understand they have their own lives, their jobs, their families, but some days I wish just one of them would show up at my door without me having to ask. They're good kids, they really are. They send me pictures and call on birthdays. But the house feels awfully empty when it's just me and the ticking clock. I have 7 grandbabies altogether, and they are the sweetest things in my life. David's 3 live in California, 2 wild little boys and 1 darling girl who looks just like me when I was small. Sarah has a boy and a girl in Chicago, and Michael has 2 boys down in Texas. They send me pictures and videos, and I keep every single one. I have a whole drawer full of their drawings and little cards they made for me. When they were smaller, they used to come visit more often. The house would be full of noise and running feet and laughter. I'd bake cookies and read them stories at bedtime. Those were some of my happiest days. But now, they're all so busy. Sports, school, friends, screens. I understand. Life moves fast when you're raising children. Still, some weeks go by and I don't hear a single voice except my own. That's the funny thing, you know. I have a big family, 3 children, 7 grandchildren, even a few nieces and nephews. On paper, it looks like I should never feel lonely. But some evenings I sit here at this table and the quiet feels heavier than it should. I'll look at all the photos on the wall and think, they love me, but they don't need me anymore. I don't want to sound ungrateful. I really don't. I'm thankful for every one of them. But there's a difference between being loved from far away and being loved up close. And some days, I just miss being needed. But you know what? I finally got tired of just sitting here talking to the walls. The real reason I started this channel is because I was getting too lonely. There, I said it. Some nights after I turn off the Hallmark movie, the silence in this house feels so heavy I can hardly breathe. I'll walk around turning lights off and think, who am I going to talk to tomorrow? My children are busy, my friends are getting older too, and most of them have their own families to look after. So one day I just thought, maybe there are other people out there like me. People who are a little lonely. People who want to sit and talk with someone who understands. Maybe even younger folks who just want to hear what an old woman has learned after living 78 years. I don't want to pretend I have all the answers. I don't. I'm not here to give fancy advice or act like I'm wise. I just want to talk about the real stuff, The happy memories, the regrets, the silly things that still make me laugh, and the things that still make me cry. If you're watching this right now, I want you to know something. You're not just a number on a screen to me. You're someone who took the time to sit at my kitchen table with me, and that means more than you know. I hope you'll stay. I really do, because I've missed having someone to talk to, and I think maybe you've missed it too. So let me tell you what you can expect if you decide to keep coming back here. I'm not going to sit here and act like I have a perfect life or perfect answers. I don't. These videos are going to be real. I'll tell you about the happy times, like when the kids were small and the house was full of noise and laughter. I'll also tell you about the hard times and the regrets I still carry. I might cry sometimes, I might repeat myself, I might even go off on a little tangent about something I suddenly remembered. That's just how I am. I won't sugarcoat anything. I'll talk about the mistakes I made as a wife, as a mother, and even as a teacher. I'll talk about the days I still feel angry at Robert, even though I miss him terribly. I'll share the silly little things that make me laugh too, because life has both. Everything I say will come straight from my heart, from this kitchen table. No scripts, no fancy editing tricks, just me being honest with you. If you're looking for someone who's going to pretend everything is always wonderful, then I'm probably not the right person. But if you want a friend who'll tell you the truth about what 78 years of living really feels like, then I'd love for you to stay. Oh, before I forget, let me tell you something funny that just popped into my head. There used to be this old orange cat named Butterscotch that belonged to my neighbor, Mrs. Henderson. She passed away about 6 years ago, but that cat kept coming over to my back door every single evening like clockwork. I'd sit on the porch and he'd jump right up in my lap and purr like a broken engine. I never even liked cats much before that, but I started keeping a little bowl of milk for him. Robert used to grumble, "Ellie, you're feeding that stray again?" But he never stopped me. Sometimes I'd talk to that cat about my whole day like he understood every word. I don't know why I'm telling you this right now. It has nothing to do with anything. But I still miss that silly old cat. He passed last winter. I buried him under the big maple tree in the backyard. Life is strange, isn't it? Sometimes the smallest things stay with you the longest. Well, I suppose I've talked enough for one day. If you've stayed with me this long, then thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really means a lot to this old lady. If you enjoyed sitting here with me, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. That way you'll know when I put up a new video. I'll be right here at this same kitchen table, waiting to talk with you again. So come back whenever you want. Whether you're feeling happy, sad, or just a little lonely, my door is always open. Until next time, take care of yourself, sweetheart. And remember, you've always got a friend sitting here in Naperville. God bless you.